Hey everybody, Batjack JW here. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do another review with this. This was a video I did a while back, and as always, you know, we get better at making videos, and I decided let's just redo it. The Beretta M9 pistol. This is the Beretta 92 FS. Cool. That's all I got to say about it. It's cool. This one, in particular, is it's kind of a, like, what do they call it, the anniversary model, or like a commemorative model. So it's kind of like, it's got the cool military looking packaging and everything, which is really neat. It's got all the logos and everything all over it. So that's kind of really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. So let's go ahead and open it. Here you got your basic instruction manual, Beretta 92 FS 9mm Parabellum full war. So anyway, you know, and that's the other thing about Beretta, man. They've always gave you these really nicely dressed up stuff. Their logo, right down to their Trident logos and stuff, it just spells elegance and just really nicely put together. Always has been. And extra magazine, they did give me an extra magazine. I've seen ones now, they come with 3 magazines. What the heck? Anyway, Beretta lock and the pistol, and this was actually around the tag right here, certified by the U.S. Armed Forces. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. So let's get this box out of the way and get to the pistol. Okay, so there it is, the Beretta 92 pistol. Otherwise, this is the M9 configuration. Drop the mag. Let's make sure we check it. And that's the other cool thing about a Beretta. Look at that wide ejection port. I think, in fact, Danny Glover says that in Lethal Weapon when Mel Gibson's character is carrying one of these things. He says wide ejection port, no feed jams. You know, talks about the Beretta and everything. Anyway, so many reasons. Why would you own this gun? Well, why wouldn't you? It is so cool. This gun looks cool. I must say the lines of the gun is just super neat. By that is, it's a sexy looking gun, basically. There's no doubt about it. It photographs very nicely. It's probably one of the major reasons Hollywood uses it so much, is because it looks awesome. You know, I've always admired, like, when you see that part of it, you know, in a holster or something, you know. And for me, growing up when I was younger, you know, seeing Die Hard, you know, I just fell in love with it. You know, definitely watching Die Hard 3, you know, in the theaters and stuff, just admiring the pistol that he had. And, you know, lo and behold, it was the Beretta and everything. So, and I tell you, if you've never had one of these things or picked one up or felt it, you pull that slide back, man, it's like grease. There's no other gun that feels like that. It is a really good feeling gun. For the money, for the cost of these things, you know, it's like, you know, it's almost like, how could you not have one? I do know the differences from what I've read and seen is from this one and the 92 FS is this is more vertical. I know the 92 kind of takes more of a dip on it. This is more vertical, and I believe something back here, and I'm not sure exactly all the down to the last detail on it. For those of you that do know more than I do, for sure, chime in on the comments, let me know. For the most part, I do know it's all like an exact replica. Would be like, this is the civilian version of what they are using overseas, what our great U.S. Armed Forces are using, and it's really cool, and that makes it even more cool to have it and own it. So anyway, so some of the features on the Beretta. It's a double, a single action. So for those of you that may not even know what that means, so you put your magazine in, you rack your round in, you drop the hammer on a live round. Yes, you do. And how that, and for those of you that are probably freaking out, you don't understand that quite how it works, is if you actually look carefully in there, you can see the firing pin. You can see the firing pin where it strikes the primer. Now, as I'm gonna turn the switch here, the safety and decocker, you see the firing pin moving. See it? And it moves out of the way. And it moves out of the way just enough and with enough time so when the hammer falls, It is not contacting it. So that is how the hammer drop works, and that's the way this gun is meant to be carried. So there's a live round in there, you have your safety on, hammer down. So when you draw this firearm, pop the safety off, pull the long trigger, bang, okay, side's going to cycle, and now you have a single action trigger mode. So now you can see the take up is next to nothing, and it breaks way back here. Now that's a lot different than starting from way up front here and then back here. Trigger set reset is right there. Kind of weird. It's definitely not like most of our guns today that have definitely surpassed the functional. But other than that, out of the box, this thing is deadly accurate. It's really nice. It's pretty robust, and it handles it. I mean, I've shot this thing a lot. I've shot a lot of rounds through it. One of my really good friends, he's just in love with this thing. He absolutely loves this gun, and has asked me more than once to sell it to him. I will not. It's just super cool. You know, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon. I mean, it's all channeled in right here. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, my good friend online here, Uzi9, he said, you know, movies are just giant gun commercials, and man, this one was definitely one for me. It was just like, I had to have this thing. So the takedown is pretty easy. It's actually too easy. Some would say it's too, you know, somebody could yank the slide right out of your hands if you're too close to them. So if you see this right here, okay, on the other side is a little button. You push the button while holding it in. Okay, we'll do it on this angle so you can see better. We'll push that button down, you know, from the rear, on the other side. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna move this catch down, and you can see the slide almost popped completely off. And that's how you take the slide off. You can see the internal parts. It's not as simple looking as a Glock, right? That's because it's not. I don't know how many of you actually have taken this thing apart, but I have taken it apart to an extent where I definitely, it's got a lot of parts in there. A lot of small pins, roll pins, springs, and things that are just ridiculous. And here's the slide. The slide is strange because it has a pin on top here that holds, I believe it's the ejector or the extractor, and that is swedged in by some metal on the slide and everything, and I've seen some videos where you got to actually drive that out, breaking some of the tabs off. Anyway, so here's the slide assembly. We're going to do a field trip here. I'm going to take the spring and everything out. Now I know the new ones I've seen in the shop, this whole unit is actually captured. In this case, mine is an older one, and it's not. It's just two separate pieces here. I'll try to put this back together. Okay, and the barrel comes right out. The barrel has these locking lugs. Now, if you are familiar with the P38, the old German World War II pistol, this design of this gun has taken a lot. It has borrowed a lot from that gun right there, for sure. So you can see these are what rides along in the internal of the slide right there. You can see the slots in here. That's how it rides. Sits right in there, and that's part of how it's so slick, really. So to put it back together, always remember this is goes in like this, and you want to do this without jutting this thing off across the room. And I may just do that doing this video, but anyway, got it right back in there. I have switched my magazine release around, which is the other nice thing about it. The magazine catch is reversible. I'm left-handed, so I switched it over to the right side so I can get it. But the grip is so big on this gun. I don't have the biggest hands in the world, but you have to break grip, just to, for me at least, to release that magazine catch. Front strap is checkered, back strap is checkered. so that's cool. Not replaceable like our modern guns, but and it does have the checkering on the finger, the trigger guard here. I guess that's for putting your extra finger there. Some people shoot that way. I don't. The one thing that I have noticed on this gun, and I have seen it inside here where the trigger is, there's a spring that wraps around the pin here and wedges itself between the frame and the top of the trigger. That spring is very skinny and small, and it has a tendency to break. Wilson Combat has made a replacement part for that. I'm actually looking to get that for my gun because I like his design on it. Wilson Combat, Bill Wilson has taken some of the designs on this gun, has revamped it, and done a very good job at re-engineering some of the things on it. And so I really like that he's done some of those things. And you know, he's also makes a really fine 1911. A little pricey, but you know, it's kind of what you get when you get custom made. So anyway, that's the kind of the internals of the gun. Let's go ahead and put the slide back on. And now I noticed the new ones, when you actually do that, when the takedown lever is down and you actually just pull the slide back to the rear, it will click back up automatically. I noticed that on the newer one, and the newer one has a rail light here now. So this one's more of the older one, which I'm kind of an old vintage guy anyway. I like the old stuff, so I kind of like it. This one does have the Allen key screw to put the grips on and off, so I don't like that, but it is what it is. So as far as the size of the gun, in comparison, I've got my trusty Glock 23, so you can see the size comparison. They are, it is kind of a, you know, makes you kind of realize that Beretta is a big gun. The Beretta M9 is a big gun. You can see. And I know that the 23 is a mid-sized gun, so it's kind of hard to almost stack it up against this thing. But as far as, let's see, let's even it out here. You can see just how much further out the barrel is on it. So. But you know, in a sense, a lot of people would say the Beretta is a lot more sexy looking than the Glock. But hey, you know, to each his own. I mean, the Glock has grown on me some, I must admit. When I first started looking into them, I didn't really care for them. But anyway, but yeah, that's the Beretta, you know, taking a look at it. You know, black plastic grips and everything. So just taking a look at the sexy lines of the guns. The sights on this one is dot and post, or whatever they want to call it, but that's what I call it, the dot and post sight, not like the traditional 3-dot or something like that, which from what I understand, I could be wrong, don't hold it unto me. That's what the military chose. So anyway, to all the armed services, to all the men and women that serve my beloved American country here, America, this one's dedicated to you and your service, putting your lives on the line for our freedom so we can lay our heads in peace and quiet at night. So anyway, that's my review for the Beretta M9 pistol. Really cool in 9mm. So I'm Bat Jack JW. I'm signing off for now. Please like, share, and subscribe.